Hey guys, welcome back to Genealogy and Chronology. Today we are going to conclude the history of the Telangana series, a project which has been in works since November of last year. Over the course of the last year, we discussed in detail all the dynasties that ruled over Telangana region, starting with the Asaf Jahi dynasty all the way back to the Maurya Dynasty. In this video, I will be discussing about the complete history of Telangana region using this comprehensive chart which ties in all the dynasties together. We do not certainly know which was the oldest reigning dynasty of Telangana. In fact, very little is known about the history of Telangana region before the rise of the Maurya Empire. Before 350 BCE, major parts of present-day Telangana came under the Asmaka Janapada. Asmaka Janapada was an ancient territorial and political unit during the Vedic period and later ages. It was primarily located in the central Deccan Plateau, making it a crucial region for trade and agriculture. It had the Godavari River flowing through it, providing a lifeline for its people. We do not know any monarchs or rulers from this era. After the decline of the Mahajanapadas, Chandragupta Maurya marked the beginning of a significant period in Indian history. Around 324 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya established the Maurya dynasty by defeating the Nanda Empire, and he consolidated his power across northern India. While the core of the Mauryan Empire was located in the northern part of Indian subcontinent, particularly in the regions corresponding to present-day Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, it extended its influence and control over various parts of Indian subcontinent, including Telangana, primarily because of the military expansions of Emperor Ashoka the Great, who was grandson of Chandragupta. The dynasty declined after the death of Ashoka, and his successors lost most of Ashoka's territorial gains. The Mauryan period left its mark on Telangana region through inscriptions, administrative structures, and the propagation of Buddhism, contributing to the historical and cultural legacy of Telangana. While the power shifted from the Maurya dynasty to the Shunga Empire and later to the Kanva dynasty in northern India, little is known about who exactly ruled over Telangana region until the rise of the Satavahanas. The Satavahana dynasty rose to power following the collapse of the Maurya Empire and the decline of the Kanva dynasty. The dynasty expanded its territory by annexing much of Deccan region. According to the Puranas, a total of 30 kings from this dynasty reigned as monarchs, but archaeological and numismatic evidence of less than half of the kings mentioned in the Puranas is found so far. The origins of the Satavahana dynasty has many theories as well. The Puranas state them as Andhras and Andhra Jatiyas, but many historians do not hold the opinion that Satavahanas originated from present-day Andhra region, since all archaeological records of the early Satavahana period have been discovered in present-day Maharashtra region, suggesting a more west-central origin of Satavahana dynasty. Gautamiputra Satakarni and his sons Vashishtaputra Pulumavi and Vashishtaputra Satakarni are some of the most important rulers from this dynasty. The Satavahanas lost their prominence by the early 3rd century, following which the lands governed by them were divided by the Andhra Ishwakus, Chotu dynasty, Pallava dynasty and the Abhira dynasty. Later, the Vakataka dynasty rose to power following the collapse of the Satavahana Empire. They expanded their territory by annexing much of Abhira kingdom and also the Telangana and Vengi regions. The Vakatakas were neighbors and contemporaries to the famous Gupta Empire and even had marital relations with the Gupta royal house. Following the death of Pravasena I, who was the second Vakataka king, the kingdom was divided between his 4 sons. The senior male line of the royal house continued to hold overlordship of the entire kingdom, whereas the cadet branches governed over respective territories that they had inherited and assisted the main line at times of war. We only know about 2 branches, whereas the record of the other 2 branches are lost to time. The senior line died out in 500 CE, whereas the cadet branch lost power to the rising Vishnukundis in 510 CE. The Vishnukundina dynasty initially served as feudatories to the Vakataka kingdom and later declared independence from their overlords by carving out an independent fief and ruling over present-day states of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and parts of Karnataka and Maharashtra. They rose to prominence by marrying Vakataka princesses. The dynasty ruled south central and eastern Deccan region for about 200 years. They were finally overthrown by Pulakeshin II of the Badami Chalukya dynasty in 621 CE. The Chalukyas of Badami, more formally known as the early Chalukyas, ruled over much of present-day states of Telangana, Karnataka, Maharashtra and parts of Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Between the years 543 AD and 753 AD, they previously served as feudatories to the Kadambas. The Chalukya dynasty was established by Pulakeshin I with Vatapi as capital. Vatapi is nowadays referred to as Badami. At its peak, the Badami Chalukya kingdom stretched from river Narmada in the north to river Kaveri in the south. Kubja Vishnuvardhana, grandson of Pulakeshin I, would break away from the Badami Chalukya kingdom when his elder brother was king and established the Vengi Chalukya dynasty, which ruled over what is today Andhra Pradesh. The Badami Chalukyas prospered for over 2 centuries and saw the rule of some important rulers such as Pulakeshin I and II, Vijayaditya and Vikramaditya I. The dynasty was finally overthrown by the famous Rashtrakutas. The Rashtrakuta dynasty ruled over much of western Deccan region between 753 AD and 973 AD. The Ilichpur branch of this dynasty served as feudatories to the Badami Chalukyas for much of 6th and 7th centuries. In 735 AD, during the rule of Badami Chalukya king Kirtivarman II, the Rashtrakutas revolted and overthrew the Chalukyas. Under the Rashtrakuta chieftain Dantivarman II, who went on to become the first king of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. The Rashtrakutas would rule much of present-day Karnataka, Telangana, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh states for nearly 250 years. The Rashtrakutas briefly expanded their kingdom to an extent where the boundaries of the kingdom stretched from river Yamuna in the north to river Kaveri in the south, and from Gujarat in west to Chhattisgarh in east. The contemporaries of the Rashtrakuta dynasty in north were the famous Gurjara Pratiharas and the Pala dynasties, with whom the Rashtrakutas were at constant war for territory, whereas in the south, Vengi Chalukyas, Pandyas, Cholas and the Pallavas were the contemporaries of the Rashtrakutas. Amogavarsha I, who is commonly known as Ashoka of the south, was the 6th Rashtrakuta emperor and the empire was at its zenith during his rule. The Rashtrakutas would be overthrown by the descendants of the Badami Chalukya royal house, who also had married Rashtrakuta princesses and rose high in prominence. The Western Chalukyas, who are also known as the Kalyani Chalukyas, were a branch of the Badami Chalukya royal house. They ruled between 973 AD and 1200 AD over much of Western Deccan region, which comprises of present-day Telangana, Karnataka, Maharashtra and parts of Andhra Pradesh regions. In 973 AD, Tailapa II declared independence from the Rashtrakutas following the sack of the Rashtrakuta capital by the Paramara dynasty. The Kalyani Chalukyas were always at wars with their cousins and neighbors, the Vengi Chalukyas, who had allied with the famous Chola Empire. Constant war would bleed the Kalyani Chalukya Empire, where by 1200 it was divided between various smaller local dynasties, one of which was the Kakatiya dynasty. Kakatiya dynasty was the only sovereign independent Telugu-speaking dynasty in the timeline of Indian history. The dynasty rose to prominence during the Rashtrakuta rule and later under the Western Chalukyas. Following the collapse of the Chalukyas, the Kakatiyas became sovereign monarchs and ruled for about 160 years. The Kakatiyas were known for the impressive architectural achievements, including the construction of the iconic Warangal Fort and the Thousand-Pillar Temple, showcasing their prowess in temple architecture. They developed an extensive network of tanks, canals, and reservoirs such as the Ramappa Lake and Kakatiya Canal, which revolutionized agriculture in the region, leading to increased agricultural productivity. The famous Queen Rudrama Devi belonged to the Kakatiya dynasty and happens to be the only female monarch in the history of Telangana. The decline of the Kakatiyas started with internal conflicts and also from expanding realms of the Delhi Sultanate. The dynasty finally came to an end with the death of Prataprudra Deva, who was the fifth and last monarch from this dynasty. While local dynasties such as the Reddy dynasty, the Musunuri Nayakas and Richalla Nayakas asserted some temporary dominance, they were either made vassals or incorporated into subsequent Bahmani Sultanate by mid-1400s. But the major transfer of power from the Kakatiya dynasty went to the Tughlaq dynasty, which came to power of the Delhi Sultanate from 1320 to 1413 CE. It was founded by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and is known for its ambitious rulers and far-fetching policies. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq undertook military campaigns to expand the territorial holdings of the Delhi Sultanate. His efforts included campaigns in the Deccan region aiming to extend the Sultanate's influence to the south, which ultimately resulted in the fall of the Kakatiya kingdom. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was succeeded by his son Muhammad bin Tughlaq in 1325 CE. Muhammad bin Tughlaq is remembered for his decision to change the capital of his kingdom from Delhi to Daulatabad and back again to Delhi. The Muslim nobility and elite were ordered to move to Daulatabad, making it a new hub where people from all walks of life gathered. Although this decision was unpopular among the Muslim elite, one impact of this decision was that Islamic rule in Deccan lasted centuries longer than Delhi's own unstable authority over the south. If not for Tughlaq's creation of a Muslim elite at Daulatabad, there would have been no stable Muslim power like the Bahmani Sultanate to check the rising power of the Vijayanagara Empire. The Tughlaq dynasty ruled over Deccan for less than 25 years. Zafar Khan, a former governor of Deccan under the Tughlaqs, established the Bahmani Sultanate in 1347 and assumed the title of Alauddin Bahman Shah. This was the very first time an independent Muslim monarch ruled over any part of the Deccan. The Bahmani Sultanate lasted for around 180 years and saw the rule of some very famous kings such as Tajuddin Feroz Shah and Ahmad I. Later in late 1400s, the dynasty saw a series of weak rulers which disintegrated the Bahmani kingdom into 5 independent sultanates, which are collectively known as the Deccan Sultanates. Interestingly, all 5 sultanates were established by governors and commanders of the Bahmani Sultanate. One such person was Sultan Quli Qutbul Mulk, who was serving as governor of Telangana Region under Shihabuddin Mahmud. He was a direct male line descendant of the Kara Koyunlu monarchy, which ruled over what is today Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia, Iran and Turkey. During the later days of Kara Koyunlu, Sultan Quli with some of his relatives migrated to North India and later to Deccan, where he served under Sultan Mahmud Shah Bahmani II. As the Bahmani Sultanate disintegrated, Sultan Quli established his rule over Golconda and declared independence from the Bahmani Sultanate. The Qutb Shahi's rule in Golconda Sultanate marked a golden era in Deccan's history, characterized by cultural flourishing and architectural achievements. Sultan Muhammad Quli Qutb Shah, who ruled from 1580 to 1612, founded the city of Hyderabad in 1591, and it was also Muhammad Quli Qutb Shah who constructed the iconic Charminar. Makkah Masjid and the famous Qutb Shahi tombs necropolis were the contributions of the Qutb Shahis as well. Their legacy continues to be celebrated even to this day in modern-day Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The end of the Qutb Shahis came with Aurangzeb Alamgir I, who wanted to expand the Mughal control over Deccan region, even from the days when he was serving as governor of Deccan under his father, Emperor Shah Jahan. His Deccan campaigns were significant as they aimed to assert Mughal dominance over the Deccan Sultanates, which also included the Golconda Sultanate ruled by the Qutb Shahis. In 1687, Aurangzeb successfully captured Golconda Fort, marking the end of the Qutb Shahi dynasty's rule in Golconda. Hyderabad came under direct Mughal control, becoming a prominent province in the empire. But the Mughal rule over Hyderabad was short-lived. After Emperor Aurangzeb died in 1707, succession crisis within Mughal royal house resulted in Mir Kamaruddin Ali Khan, a former Grand Vizier of the Mughal Empire, declaring independence over Hyderabad in 1724. But Kamaruddin Ali Khan remained loyal to the declining Mughal Empire and refused from taking any imperial titles. The Asaf Jahi dynasty, also known as the Nizams of Hyderabad, was a prominent and influential royal family that ruled the princely state of Hyderabad from 1724 until 1948. The Nizams entered into subsidiary alliance with the British, whereby Hyderabad became a princely state within the British Raj. The princely state of Hyderabad was the richest and largest in India, covering vast territories in present-day Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and parts of Maharashtra. The Nizams implemented administrative reforms that streamlined governance. They established a structured bureaucracy, introduced a revenue system, and modernized the judicial system. They also invested in infrastructure development, constructing roads, railways, and irrigation projects to improve the connectivity and agricultural productivity. The Nizams left behind a legacy of grand palaces, mosques, and monuments, including the famous Chaw Mahalla Palace and the Falaknuma Palace, which are architectural marvels. The end of the Asaf Jahi dynasty came with India's independence in 1947, and the integration of princely states into the newly formed Indian Union. Following a brutal police action known as Operation Polo, Hyderabad was annexed into Indian Union in 1948. I hope you all like this complete overview of the history of Telangana Project. This concludes all the dynasties that rule over Telangana region in recorded history. You can watch the videos of all the 11 prominent dynasties that ruled over Telangana region between 324 BCE and 1948 CE by clicking on the playlist on my channel. Wall posters of this chart will be available on genealogyandchronology.com from 15th October. If you like my work, please consider supporting me on Patreon by becoming a member, or you can buy me a coffee by scanning this QR code. Thank you.